One of the things that I wanted to talk about, and it seems to be an everyday conversation among believers and unbelievers, and that is how we should conduct ourselves once you represent Christ, once you represent that you are a believer. So I just want to talk today about how conversations, watching what it is that we say out of our mouths. So how can we avoid having conversations that are ungodly? Because you can easily get caught up in a conversation. So Norman, has there ever been a time where as though, you may be at work or around some family and friends and a certain conversation comes up, and, how do you make sure that you don't indulge in conversations that could jeopardize your relationship with Christ or how people look at you as a Christian?
Well, the first thing is a lot of times I kind of keep myself a little separate from others. Not in the sense of trying to, I guess, make them feel alienated or anything like that, but in such a way that they know that there's certain things that they shouldn't even come to me with. One of the things that I believe that a lot of people can get caught up in is when people start joking, right. Because it'll sound funny for a while, and they may be talking about a funny subject, but somehow they'll slip in something in that conversation that you really are not trying to laugh about, but, they'll start, bringing in something vulgar or whatever, and then you're like, man, here they go again.
Right.
And so that's one of the things, I try to be careful about getting into joking with people, especially when they start getting on the subject of sex or something like that.
Right.
Then I quickly just excuse myself from the conversation some kind of way and just, get away from that whole environment, So that's one of the things that I do.
That's good. That's the best thing to do, is to just kind of excuse yourself and, go somewhere. But sometimes it's hard. You may not be able to excuse yourself. So you, Shakana, I know that you're in college now, and how do you avoid certain, being put in a position like that where as though you may not be able to excuse yourself?
The main thing that I do is, I watch who I'm around. I watch the people that I associate myself with. That way, the conversations will be like-minded. If I have like-minded people around me, that way we can have conversations that kind of flow together. It's difficult when I'm in college, because when I'm in school, because it's a lot of different people, and you're just trying to find who you connect with. But for the most part, I just try to have discernment, know who I should be around or who I shouldn't be around. And like he said, just not alienate yourself, but pull back from those things that sometimes we just know this is how that's going to go down. So just to kind of have discernment and be aware of who I'm with.
Right. But what's wrong with joking? A lot of people that, may be in your circle, they may say, well, you excuse yourself, and it's like, okay, well, why are you acting so uptight? What's wrong with joking? A lot of people think that Christians don't have fun anyway. So what's wrong with joking?
Well, I'll say there's nothing wrong with joking.
Okay.
It's about what you're joking about.
Right.
And what I find is that people who are unsaved, they don't know when to stop, obviously, because they don't have a conscience to stop about, certain things. So when you get into a conversation with them, first of all, if they know who you are anyway as a person,
right,
then generally speaking, they will kind of watch what they say around you.
That's true.
I found that to be true for the most part. But if they're not really aware of what you're about, but at the same time, here's another thing, and I've seen this with so-called Christians as well, where they will be around people joking, and because either they're not as mature in Christ or whatever the case may be, they will get caught up in the same conversation, and then they may even offer, some kind of input to it, and think that it's okay. And that, to me, it's an embarrassment to me. I literally just walk away. I'm like, wow, I just can't be around this, so.
So how do you suggest, like just what with what he said, if you have, two believers there and you see that your brother or